welcome to another episode of Sugar Spot. As always, I'm your hostess Millie, and today we have some very special guests. Over here we have a well-known author of Bake It Till You Make It and the owner of April's Gourmet Shop. April, ho! Next we have our stunning Harvard Chemistry alumni, Dr. Martha Makuni. And today we're going to show you how to make delicious s'mores cupcakes. So good that you'll keep wanting some more. Now let's turn over to our expert baker, April Ho.
Okay, so first we'll start off with the base of the cupcake, the graham cracker crust. For the graham cracker crust, you will need 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and 1 mini cupcake tin. So first, melt the butter. Then stir together your melted butter, sugar, and graham cracker crumbs.
While our expert baker is stirring the ingredients, let's find out the science behind these 3 simple ingredients by talking to Dr. Makuni. The graham cracker crust is a mixture, not a compound. Therefore, the ingredients are not chemically bonded. The granulated sugar in the recipe is used as a sweetener. Meanwhile, the melted butter is essential to the crust because it holds the crust together and gives the crust texture. As for the melted butter, it is a substance that contains crystallized fats and softer fats that are completely liquid. Our recipe requires melted butter because warm butter is proven to become softer, which allows the crystallized fats to slide apart. As a result, it makes the butter more spreadable.
After mixing your graham cracker mixture, add about a tablespoon of mixture into your cupcake tin and then pack it down together with any household item with a flat surface.
What's next for our delicious s'mores cupcakes?
Well, now it's time to make the chocolate portion of our s'mores cupcake. For the chocolate cupcake, you will need 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, 3/4 cup of cocoa powder, 4 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, 1 cup of buttermilk, 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1 cup of strong black coffee, and 2 eggs. In a large bowl, whisk together flour, sugar, cocoa powder, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. Then add in your wet ingredients. Slowly whisk in your eggs, coffee, buttermilk, vegetable oil, and vanilla extract. Mix this until evenly distributed.
That tastes so good. And I understand you modified the recipe a little bit?
Yes, I did. I added twice the amount of baking soda, and so instead of 2 teaspoons of baking soda, I added 4 teaspoons of baking soda to give the cupcake a fluffier texture.
Now that April is done pouring the batter, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
For the recipe, all-purpose flour was used as a base. All-purpose flour is comprised of grinded wheat kernel. In the all-purpose flour, the bran and the germ isn't present. However, it contains starchy endosperms that are, as a result, give the cupcake volume. Granulated sugar is pure sucrose, so it is neither an acid or a base. And in most cases, it's used as a sweetener, but in other cases, granulated sugar is used in order to add texture to the cake. In fact, sugar, when heated at around 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius, it caramelizes, which adds a deliciously light texture to the cake. In addition, the recipe calls for cocoa powder, which is a powdered byproduct of fermented cocoa beans. Cocoa powder is usually bitter-like due to its high acidity. As a result of the acidic cocoa powder, this helps to bring out the chocolatey taste when combined with the bases and neutrals such as water. Baking powder consists of an acid, a base, and a filler to dissolve in water to create a solution. Normally, baking powder is comprised of sodium bicarbonate, also known as NaHCl3, cream or tartar, potassium tartrate, which is known as C4H5KO6, and cornstarch. When baked, all of these items combine to produce carbon dioxide bubbles in the batter. Eggs were also used in order to give the substance a liquidy batter. There are a variety of proteins in eggs that are usually tangled up together. However, when heated, these proteins within the batter loosen up and tangle with each other to create a stronger, interconnected structural bond that will give the batter a shape. Continuing on, we have coffee. Coffee is relevant in making the s'more cupcakes because, like the salt, it's used as a flavor booster. Coffee is comprised of caffeine. Since for the recipe we use Dutch processed cocoa powder, which is a base, and coffee is an acid, therefore the cocoa powder neutralizes the acidity of the coffee, which helps to bring out the flavor of the chocolate. All of this has to do with the less acidic it is, the more flavorful it is. The coffee helped to intensify the chocolate taste of the cupcakes. Baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, causes a chemical reaction when paired with other acidic substances, in our case buttermilk and coffee. The baking soda releases carbon dioxide, which expands at baking temperatures, which makes the cake moist and tender.
We will continue with April, who will explain the science behind some of the ingredients she's become accustomed to.
Next we have buttermilk. Buttermilk is made of soured, then fermented lactose bacteria. In the buttermilk, the bacteria eats away at some of the carbon and hydrogen atoms, which reduces the pH, causing it to be more acidic and react with the bases in the batter. When this reaction occurs at high temperatures, this causes the batter to become more moist as a result of the acidity of the milk. In the recipe, vegetable oil is used because it contains acid change in its molecular structure, which when baked cause Maillard reactions. Similar to eggs, vegetable oil gives shape and form to the batter. After pouring the batter, bake them off for about 10 to 15 minutes. Our cupcakes are now done baking, so carefully remove them and put them on a cool surface.
The cupcakes look scrumptious, but aren't we missing a marshmallow to our s'mores cupcakes?
That's where the marshmallow meringue comes in. To make the meringue, you will need 4 room temperature egg whites and 1 cup of sugar. To begin with, mix your sugar with your egg whites. After that, you whisk the sugar and the egg whites till completely dissolved. Okay, so after you're done incorporating the sugar into the egg whites, transfer your mixer to a double boiler. After your mixture is completely dissolved, turn off your heat and then transfer it to a cool surface. Mix your mixture while it's still warm until stiff, glossy peaks. Okay, so this is how it's supposed to look like when it's done. It has stiff and glossy peaks.
As always, our favorite doctor is here to explain the science behind our marshmallow meringue.
Okay, so the heat from the double boiler causes the molecules and the sugars to move faster, because as the temperature of the substance increases, the kinetic energy increases as well.
After making the meringue, fill your piping bag with your marshmallow meringue, fitted with a small round piping tip. Then start piping your frosting and create whatever design you desire. Now we will torch the meringue to give it the toasted marshmallow look and taste.
The marshmallow cupcakes are now complete. Time for a taste test. That's all, folks. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Sugar Spot. I'm your host, Millie Root. This is Dr. Makundi and expert baker April Hull. Tune in for another episode next week.